All of this, we want you to hear from an expert as well. We're going to send it over to Ron and Mary to expand on all of the new developments in the Middle East. Good morning, guys.
Lincoln, thank you. We're here with Chris Lowe. He is the director of the Middle East Center at the University of Utah. Chris, thanks so much for being with us. We talked with you last week, and now things have seemed to accelerate even more in the last 24 hours. Your take on it?
I mean, first of all, I just want to say I'm very glad to hear that our colleague Amos Giora and his family are doing well. I would hasten to add that we also have faculty, family connections in Lebanon as well. So the university community is thinking about all of our, community members. In terms of my take, I mean, we have to back up, right? All of this is flowing from the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th.
Just about a year ago. Yeah.
Right. So, of course, the center of gravity for the conflict has really shifted northward. For Israel, I think the Hamas conflict and Gaza has turned into a bit of a quagmire. And for Netanyahu, focusing attention on Hezbollah has been a way to really sort of turn the page a bit. And so the last 2 weeks, we've seen a real intensification, grumblings of a ground invasion, which are now a reality. Right. Israel has warned Lebanese citizens to move away from the border 25 to 30 miles inland. We're starting to see skirmishes on the ground between Israel and Hezbollah and Lebanese army forces. And of course, we've had in the last 2 weeks this very dramatic series of Israeli intelligence operations, pager, walkie-talkie attacks, targeted assassinations, and of course that has culminated right this past Friday after we spoke on Thursday in the assassination of the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, which has really sent the region into turmoil.
Now, when we talk about the region, what about the Iranian missile attack just yesterday? Do you think that's the escalation, or is it going to keep going?
I think it's going to keep going, unfortunately. So the escalation on the Iranian side, so their statement basically said that this was in revenge for the assassination of their proxy, Hassan Nasrallah. Of course, the earlier assassination by Israel in Tehran of Ismail Haniyeh, which was a Hamas leader. And then, of course, the deaths of several high-ranking Iranian officials in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
So taking out the leadership hasn't really slowed things down.
I mean, Hezbollah is damaged, I mean, to be clear, but this is a fighting force of at least 40 or 50,000 members, right? So to say that Hezbollah has been, dismantled is not a reality. Israel wants to disable Hezbollah. The United States continues to give the green light. I think that there's been a little bit of duplicity in the U.S. messaging on this. Publicly, President Biden has called for ceasefire, for de-escalation, but recent reporting has shown that our national security team, Anthony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, of course, Special Envoy Amos Hochstein, who himself was a former IDF soldier, I would hasten to note, that they've all been privately giving the go-ahead for this escalation.
Okay, so U.S. involvement here. I mean, I think we have like 40,000 troops in that area. Another warship
Navy,
is on the way.
Yes.
And what is this signaling?
I mean, I want us to back up a little bit, right? So I think that we're starting to sort of lose a bit of perspective. We've spent the better part of the last 2.5 decades engaged in hot wars, on-the-ground wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and a larger war on terror that I think helps to explain the willingness to commit these kinds of resources in this constant sort of proxy war. If we think about these assets, just this past week, another $8 billion were committed to support Israel. Every time that we shoot down an Iranian missile or a rocket from Hezbollah, these are hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars spent. So the United States is footing the bill for this widening scope of conflict in the region.
And that was 200 just yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But is there a point where the U.S. needs to tighten the screws?
Yes. I mean, I think we're well past that point, actually. I mean, one of the things that's been disturbing about this presidency, let's say, is if we compare it to previous rounds, if you go back into the archive and look at, say, 1982 in Lebanon and the kinds of comments that Ronald Reagan made, very de-escalatory, and tended to sort of keep Israel on a much, much tighter leash. Go back to George Bush in the 2000s. Again, really clear red lines on civilian deaths. We've normalized, unfortunately, as we've watched all of this conflict unfold on our television screens, when Israeli officials come on and say, we've assassinated X person, the death toll of civilians and surrounding people is often in the hundreds and thousands. So just in the last 2 weeks, Al Jazeera reports that perhaps 1,900 Lebanese have been killed, right? So we're normalizing, really mass carnage. Yes, no one is shedding a tear for, terrorist organization leaders, but the cost is unbearable.
Did we desensitize because of Iraq and Afghanistan?
I think so. I really think so. I think that that's allowed officials like Benjamin Netanyahu to really play to a kind of Islamophobia that has taken root in the United States, that really is unable to see Arab citizens, and in particular Muslim citizens, as humans.
So I guess we're going to see some more escalation going. Israel's already said they'll retaliate for what happened yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the comments that I'm seeing are possibility of electrical infrastructure, nuclear infrastructure. Those are the warnings that are coming out from Israel. We have no diplomatic off-ramp here. Jake Sullivan basically came on National Security Advisor saying we are in full support of another round of escalation from Israel against Iran. Just yesterday or this morning, in fact, Israel has declared Antonio Guterres, who's the head of the UN, persona non grata, saying that he's been banned from Israel. So there's a kind of rogue character, sort of a denial of any international oversight from Israel at this point. So we're really, again, just ratcheting up with no possibility of an offer.
So the U.S. response today,
yes,
they're keeping a close eye on everything, but is it going to make any difference?
I think they've green-lighted further reprisals. I mean, unfortunately.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Light on this, a greater understanding of what's going on.
Help us all understand.
Yeah.